Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Batcast, where I, Adam Upper, talk with Braydon and Kenny to talk about Batman, the animated series. And this week's episode is Bane. How you doing today, sir?
That's a lovely, lovely voice, Mr. Appa. I'm very good. How are you?
I am well, sir. I am well. As I said, this is, I think probably the first, I want to say live action, but it's definitely not live action. Probably like the first iteration of Batman on anything other than paper because this
You mean
episode
Bane?
came out. Yes. Yeah, because because this is because I think we were talking about it yesterday, and I think Nightfall started coming out in '93, and
Hmm.
as we said, this is like the 75th episode being produced, the 71st to air, and it was aired September 10th, 1994. So that was pretty quick to be coming from. So the comic might depending on when it started in '93. I forget now. The
I'm
comic
looking it up.
it could have been still going when this because I think it was like probably like a 12 issue like a maxi series with a bunch of
Yep, ran to
stories. So
1994.
yeah. So like does it say like where in the year it stopped or just 94?
August.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
Oh
So the
my gosh, like
last
a
issue.
month.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah. So they must have like been talking to like the DC and like the and them in conjunction of doing this fucking episode because the animation is notorious for taking a long time too. So they must have known about this known about him before it came out even depending on
So
how long
there's a
it took
funny story
to
to
make
that
this.
actually, because and I'll let you get to the introduction of the credits in a second. But remember how we were like for the longest time, like, where's Riddler? Like we've been doing the like how many episodes? Like close to 50 some odd episodes, and like we only got Riddler like probably like about a year into the series or so.
Yeah,
And that was because they wanted to do Riddler justice. Apparently, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini didn't want Bane on the show.
really.
So Mitch Bryan, a series writer, I'm going to read his quote here. I was head story coordinator on the Batman animated series for its second season. I wrote the Bane episode. Paul Dini was story editor, and Paul and Bruce Timm were the big comic book fans on the show, and nobody liked that Nightfall story. DC had mandated bringing Bane into the series, but Bruce and Paul resisted using him because they did not like this story, so his character was streamlined. So that kind of gives you an idea. Like, even though like they're you know what I compare this a little bit to? I compare it to when they adapted Venom in Spider-Man 3. Like, he's definitely a watered down version of Bane, but I mean, even if you guys have ever read Nightfall, you know, like Bane has like a big plan. Like, he's not just, just gonna, I'm gonna, punch Batman in the head and, break him in two. It's like more methodical than that. But I
But
digress.
at least with this being like so speed for like a children's cartoon, like they have more in theory they have more of an excuse to water them down because obviously they
Yeah.
can't really. Yeah, like they allude to it at one point, which we get to about what happens to Batman and like in the series and whatnot, and obviously just thinking like how fucking weird would it have been if they had fucking Azrael in this episode too. I was just thinking.
Yeah. I wonder, like, Azrael's like a tricky one to do because of like the religious iconography, right? Like,
No, but even at that, they probably wouldn't probably bring that in. They probably just have him as like a Batman wannabe sort of thing.
yeah.
So like how fucking ridiculous that would be, and how I'm trying to like somehow be like in this episode.
All of a sudden, Batman's like, where did this like crazy monk guy come from?
And what's with the fucking flaming sword? Okay, what the hell? You
Flaming
don't do
swords
that
are
in this
cool.
cartoon.
I play flaming swordsman in attack mode.
Yoga flaming sword.
Yeah. But I know you like to you mentioned the credits of who's responsible for the episode, so I'll let you get to that.
It's written by, as you said, Mitch Bryan, and directed by Kevin Altieri. So like, he's definitely getting up there for probably definitely the most directed of the episodes so far.
Yeah. So the animation of this episode, I want to say first off, it's honestly some of the best I've seen on, I mean, not counting Mask of the Phantasm, which was a theatrical debut. I think this is honestly some of the best animation I've seen, probably a little bit just above that of Clayface. I mean, Clayface, you have more liberties in general with like, kind of textiles and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of I don't know. There's this way of like the being able to kind of display the muscle and the sinew that is like very easy to make look cheap, but here they know how to make it look more pronounced, like make it look like he's like a beefy brawler.
Yeah, because when he gets off the plane and he goes to give the suitcase to the one of the underlings or whatever. Yeah, he fucking does the classic. It's light to Bane and it's like super heavy to him. And then when he gets in the car, you see the car just fucking sink like a couple inches. So he's not just like big. He's actually fucking a brick shit house sort of thing. Yeah, so he's actually
Yeah.
got some heft to it. It gets some heft to him as well. Yeah.
I do
So
want to
it's,
ask
it's
your
so it,
opinion. No, go ahead.
So it's like, it was Candace. Did we see her before when Rupert Thorne was about? I can't remember.
She was in
This.
the Two Face episode.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while since we saw Rupert Thorne, so I couldn't remember if she was like his I couldn't remember if he was like her she was his lackey or whatever, or like an assistant or whatever the fuck you want
She
to
says
call her
Guma.
in that one too.
But I want to talk about the animation design for Bane here, because I mean, one, as he's getting off the plane, I found it funny that like the stewardess, as like she's letting people on the off ramp, she's like shocked at him, and she's like, "You were on the plane, so like, why are you acting like this is the first time you've seen it? You're
No,
not
well,
gonna."
no, it's not. Well, it's probably just like the size, because even like you know how big I am, and I'm not saying I'm Bane size, but I'm bigger than the average person. So like you see me sitting down, you're probably not expecting to see me as fucking big as I am. If you see me sitting down, then all of a sudden I
Good
stand
point.
up. So
But
yeah, so
presumably, she would have seen him get set down in the first place and seen how big he was then.
what? Well, I was to say, like loading the plane, you're busy, so it's reasonable to assume that she might not have seen him, or this could just be like the students just at the airport,
Yeah.
like just leading people off sort of thing. So okay, it could just be like brought in with the stair car or whatever the fuck you want, or just the cart or whatever the fuck.
The Arrested Development
So yeah,
ramp.
but
That's what I remember.
that's right. I was thinking that, but I wasn't 100% if it was Arrested Development or like what the show
Oh, it
was. Yeah,
definitely is.
but that's why I was definitely what I was thinking. Yeah, but I definitely felt Bay like walking up to like the small door and having to fucking crouch to get through, because had to do that. I had to do that more than once in my life.
That was a nice touch. Yeah. Oh yeah. When we were at Comic Con, guys, I was like texting Adam to meet me up, and I needed to like charge my phone because like I had to like get to like a meeting later that day, and so he's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I'm underneath this staircase," and I could like see like the agony on your face as you were bending down. Like, what the hell, Braden? Like, you try finding a plug. But yeah, what did you think of the design for Bane here? Because, fun fact actually, I had the action figure of this exact rendition of Bane.
Oh, nice. Well, this is my definitely my like first introduction to Bane, because I wasn't in a con. I was aware of Batman at this point, and I just as like more of a character as a whole, because other than the Tim Burton Batman movies, this is definitely my first like foray into the Batman mythos sort of thing. So but I definitely like this Bane because I did my first one, and then had read the novelization that written by Denny O'Neil, which probably came out like the next year. So I probably didn't. So I definitely would have read that after seeing this episode. Like I probably would have saw it like as it was airing. But yeah,
Yep.
I did like this, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it in the because it's in the same vein as the Ang Lee Hulk movie, where like when he takes the venom, he actually instead of just getting stronger or he just kind of his muscles get bigger, like he himself does get fucking physically like bigger as well, sort of thing, just to help emphasize, that the venom's like doing something to him and just making him bigger and fucking stronger, sort of thing.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah, because he's what, like eight
and
foot
then
tall, I want to say.
with that, we'll get to. Yeah, so I went down, yeah, but I would say it's 8 feet fucking tall, so I'd
Yeah,
probably
about
like say
seven. Yeah,
like 7. He's
yeah.
yeah,
He's probably taller than you, which
yeah.
is saying
Well,
something.
yeah. 'Cause I was like 3, yeah. So yeah, because it's just thinking like the guy who was in like the Predator suit was like 7'2", yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably so he's probably like probably imagine like Bane's like that size, but just a bit more like obviously muscular. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Bane is getting met up by Candace, who's like, I'm here on behalf of my boss, and here to take to him, and it's like, you can call me Candace. He's like, you can call me Bane. So the actor who played him, I wrote it down a second ago. Hang on a second. I think it was Henry Silva. How did I didn't write this down. Oh no, it is. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. I wrong. Yeah, Henry Silva is the actor. So I don't know if you know this, but apparently he was part of the Rat Pack. Like he used to be like with Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and those guys. Like I think he was even in Ocean's 11, like the original.
Uh,
So like he's a pretty proficient actor. And I mean, if you're gonna introduce Bane, like theoretically, you could hire anybody, but like I like the gravitas that he brings to the role.
yeah,
Because like yeah, like even look with the accent. I mean, at times it can get a little cheesy, but it is more or less it feels genuine. It doesn't feel like it's like a put on.
yeah. Yeah, and like and being like in the early 90s, they could have played it like probably like borderline racist, like or
Yeah.
like exaggerated and stuff, being like South America, like or South or Central American, just say just to get that point across, but they didn't, so they actually let them like do an actual like proper voice. So
Yep.
so I definitely like appreciate that,
Yeah, so
yeah. And
when they take him to Rupert Thorne's gym where he's boxing with his trainer Jake, and I even like the animations were really good because like you can see like the sweat flying off him. It's that good. And Jake's like, "Come on, boss. You know, like this is you keep acting this slow. No wonder Batman's beating you." And that's the right thing to say to a gangster as Rupert Thorne punches this guy in the face and knocks him out. As Bane is walking in, he's like, Candace, when Jake wakes up, tell him he's fired. It's like, typically in the mob, when you get fired, you don't wake up.
At least he didn't didn't fucking like kill him when he was knocked out. Yeah, so he was so again, I'll take being fired. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. At least to
Over
get a
what else?
severance package.
It's a mob, man. Like there's no fucking union in the mob. Like what the fuck,
No, no,
man?
no, no. It's a different kind of severance. Literal severance.
No, yeah, no. Like Severance is there. He gets a pair of cement shoes, man. So then he's not getting that. So I just said, like, yeah, I said that getting or being alive when he wakes up is the Severance, I guess.
I was going more for severance of a limb, but yeah. Yeah, so he's Bane is like talking to Rupert Thorne and he's like, yeah, I brought you in to take on Batman. And he says, it's a good thing that I was able to just outsmart him because you almost didn't get paid. And he has like an entire briefcase full of like diamonds. And Bane says, "No, senor, it is you who is the lucky one." And I love like just how like chilling Silva can play this, like because like just before he, like sorry, right after he says that, he pulls a Captain America and punches the punching bag across the friggin' room.
Yeah, into the bench that had all the free weights on it and fucking and bent that inwards too. Yeah, so like so he wasn't just kind of so a bit more than what Cap did. Yeah, but the basic idea, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And yeah, I know obviously like so this Nightfall adaptation that they're kind of like very much watering down in terms of like Bane's kind of MO here is at first like Thorne's just like, well, just go after Batman, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go after this guy, and he shows a newspaper photo of Killer Croc, and he's like, I told you to get Batman, not Killer Croc. He's like, Batman is going to go after Killer Croc, and that way Killer Croc's going to lead me to Batman. And I love, by the way, how he says like, now where can I find this Killer Croc?
uh, hey, I can't remember. Did I ask you? Have you read the Nightfall series?
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
been ages, but
Yeah,
yeah, it
it's
was
been a
really
while.
good.
Yeah, I think it was probably like in my first year of collecting comics. Yeah, I probably picked up the three trades. Yeah, but yeah, that it's again. I wouldn't say it was necessarily great, but I didn't not like it. I thought it
Yeah.
was okay.
It was probably like in terms of like DC Comics, like in terms of the 90s, I'd say it's my favorite story arc tied with Death of Superman.
Yeah. I think yeah, definitely. I think I like it a bit more than Death Superman. Yeah, because I'm not not a huge Superman guy really as a whole. So I'm definitely more a Batman. And as I said, I have more of a attachment to yeah, because I said I saw this episode, then read the Denny O'Neil novelization, and I think I have like the first appearance of Azrael CG Seed as well.
Oh yeah, I remember you were telling me about that.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah. It was a good cover art
that.
too.
I like even though it's friggin' not 90s as fuck, yeah, I still kind of like it, yeah.
But one thing I also want to mention is obviously like okay, so like this was our first introduction to Bane. Like it was certainly was for me even in syndication as a kid. But yeah, like how far we've come from like going from this to the Schumacher adaptation cuz like
Oh fuck.
oh man, like okay, so I think that like kind of like oil in the water just kind of like polluted my memory of Bane for the longest time because like even getting closer to the adaptation of like the Dark Knight Rises, so just like okay, so that's Bane, like you know, like you want to pick Bane as your bad guy, like why? And then like I had to reread Nightfall before I was like, oh, so that's why. Yeah, this is more of this, less
Yeah.
burn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as I said, after watching this episode and yeah, reading the novelization going into, as I've said before, Batman and Robin was the first Batman movie I saw in the theater and coming out, and I'm like, what the fuck did you do my boy Bane?
I know.
Among a lot of other things that happened in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, even the costume, I was just like, "What is this? Like, this is like." I even as a kid, I was trying to draw it. And I was just like, "This is like just like a black porcupine, like skunk. Like I don't know. Like, and his skin is green. Like I know it's supposed to be like you know venom and poison, but I'm like, what? Like I don't know.
Yeah, like
It's a mess.
yeah,
Like
yeah. The more you think about that movie, yeah, the more you realize how fucked the entire thing is. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember like Schumacher got asked to explain it once, like why was the movie such like crazy cacophony of dumb, and he's like toys. They wanted toys.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah, but
Yeah, it actually explains a lot. I mean, not everything, but a lot.
Yeah, that too. But I like the in I think it was on an episode of Fat Man Beyond, Kevin Smith's podcast. I think they were talking about like they made up like an in universe excuse as to why after the first Batman movie it got more and more silly and stuff is because that's what happened after the city got fucking Joker gassed at the end of the first one in that in the parade.
Uh,
And you just further just you see the further after effects of it and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
They explain they because obviously like both Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard are writers, so they give it they flesh out a bit more and when I write a bit better. Yeah, but that was like the basic idea. So like so I'm like I think about that. I'm like I can as I said, I've warmed a bit more on Batman Forever after I've seen it at I was going through my wall. I realized I've seen it there like 3 times now in the last like year and a half or so.
Actually, I think sometime around the release of this episode is when they're doing the release of the Schumacher cut in LA.
Oh yeah, I was realizing that. Yeah, then
Yeah.
yeah, which is also like I think got brought up on on an episode of that Fat Man Beyond. I think it was the first time somebody like brought it up that it could possibly exist, and then turns out it fucking does.
Whenever they say it doesn't exist, it exists. Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. And by the way, I'm not getting on the Snyder Cut
yeah. Fuck
bandwagon,
that.
but I'm just saying
Fuck.
the thing exists, and it was clearly like a better cohesive. Whether you like it or not, it was more cohesive than the other one. That's all I'll say on the Snyder thing. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But back to Bane. Yeah, so he says, where can I find this Killer Croc? So Killer Croc is Robin. This is one of the few times that Killer Croc's actually dressed up for a job. Like he's wearing like a fedora and a coat. Like I'm like, wow, like you're dressed for the job you want. Like okay,
Well, he's like, I've got goons with me, so I got to at least be half-assedly dressed, I guess.
a
Like, I'm
goon
not
with
gonna
the
fucking,
biggest buck teeth I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not gonna be bothered to put a shirt on, but at least I'll wear like an overcoat and a fedora.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Undertaker a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get a couple of wrestling references in here. I'm not gonna say where the other ones are, but yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned Undertaker was my boy growing up, man. As soon as I heard that music, dong.
Yeah, yeah, because I was big into wrestling like when he first like came out, and I remember like the lead up to him too. Just like I think it was like SummerSlam or thing. I think it was one of the pay per views at the time. Yeah, he came out and it's like and it like beating him and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Too bad he was retired, and I wasn't able to see him when I went and saw that WWE show earlier this
Oh
year.
yeah, I forgot you got to do that.
Yeah, I fucking got like fucking like front row, and I didn't realize it was like right behind the fucking like announcer's desk.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
One
oh, like
of somebody posted a photo. I think it was probably you, and it was like, looks a lot like Adam. That's freaking Adam.
yeah, like I had somebody that I went to college with that just like last like couple years ended up moving out to like Calgary, Edmonton, and the very like that day or two later, he like messaged me. He's like, "Hey, we were at SmackDown the other day." I'm like, "Yep."
Maybe.
He's like, "Yeah, I thought that was you."
Yeah, that was me
Like,
sitting down too.
it's like, yeah, I guess it's a good way to explain that I finally have I have a twin. No.
Yeah. We've already established I can't help you with an alibi. It just gets you in worse trouble. But yeah, so Killer Croc is intercepted by Batman and Robin, who have tailed him to this break-in, and I think he was trying to steal like a safe, like a small safe. And there's a little fight that ensues. Croc at one point just says, "Screw this," picks up the safe and just hauls ass, which I thought was awesome. Like, you know what? That's a good thing. And also, like the fact that as he runs away, and like Batman and Robin are dealing with the thugs. It's a very smart way of introducing Bane in terms of like, I mean, obviously we just saw him like, kick a punching bag across the room, but in terms of like fighting capability against like and pitting him against another Batman villain, like Killer Croc has been the strongest in terms of muscle power we've seen in the Batman Rogues Gallery. So to see him basically dismantle Killer Croc in a matter of seconds, like that's an entrance.
Yeah, because he ends up getting into like the sewers and stuff, yeah, and then he's going down, and all of a sudden you see him fucking punching his way into the fucking sewer, and they see like, and then him and Croc have that like a back and forth, and he's like, Croc's just like at one point he's like, yeah, over my dead body. I'm like, yeah, this is
Like,
like the one
okay.
person to not say that to you. Yeah, he hasn't. This is the one person to not say this to Croc. Like
Yeah.
anybody else, like yeah, like 100%, like yeah, do your thing. If I can take a chunk out and do the death roll, you're fine because you use some water. It'll
Yeah.
definitely work. But just say,
The
I want to
dude
chill with
literally
this guy.
punched through a brick wall.
Yeah. It wasn't like you did that and you heard it and you like came around the corner and saw it. Like you legitimately like saw him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Watch him like crush a rock with his bare hands, and that's what scares the crap out of him.
yeah, and then we just cut to like Batman and Robin like taking care of the thugs, and then you hear like Bane and Croc fighting, and that draws them in, and then when they get down there, just Croc's like just laid the fuck out.
Oh yeah, he's just like, ah. Yeah, and so Robin's like, I think somebody's on our side, like helping us out. And Batman's like, I'm not so sure. So when they go top surface,
Yeah,
they see the
so the,
Batmobile or what's
yeah,
left of it.
yeah, they're having like, as they're going up the ladder, they're having that. They come around the corner and like yeah, that you see Batman's eyes like widen and go up, and he's like, yeah, I don't think so. And then and he get closer, and he's like, you're right in one thing, Robin, that this guy is like strong because this is done by bare hands. You just see like a
Hmm.
huge fucking. Yeah, like a huge, like fucking hand mark, and it's like bigger than Batman, like it's wide, sort
Yeah.
of thing. And then we cut to like the Minas Tirith friggin' jail.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I bet
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm sure this is probably like the second or third time we've seen this. This nameless jail. But like, yeah, so like that, like this, like the way they had like the exterior shot was. So it was like that 100% looks like fucking Minas Tirith.
Panadero, City of Bane.
No, I know. It's just and like I was just thinking with that, like for these guys that escape this jail, all they need to do is start chanting "Grand" and they'll be able to fucking get out.
Yeah. Oh, good old Grant. Yeah.
Like that. I was able to go to the review earlier this year and see like the extended edition of the Return of the King play there. So if I can see, it's because for whatever reason, like when Lord of the Rings first hit the theater, like the three consecutive Decembers, I saw like Fellowship and Two Towers, but for some reason ended up missing Return of the King. So like I saw it last, yeah, like Cineplex, like at the Dundas was showing it last year, so I saw it there, and then it showed like a couple months ago to the review. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go see it again. So because that
Nice.
movie fucking rules, and
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
go to I'll go to the theater for a fucking 4 hour and 20-minute movie, like twice even.
Don't betray me now, bladder.
Yeah, that's why like at that one I made sure to get like the aisle seat. So like I think like midway there, like 2+ hours in, I think I need to get up here. So at least I didn't have to bug anybody or just
I don't know if it says like
sneak out.
my age, but I'm loving aisle seats lately when I go to the theater. I don't
I
know if
know,
it's
yeah.
just like I want the extra leg room or I just want a chance to like get up and like go to the bathroom or stretch my legs. Like, yeah,
Yeah. If it's gonna be like a full theater, I'll try and get like the aisle seat, yeah, just in
yeah,
case, yeah, because Yeah, I'm like older than you are, so I and I'm taller, so I definitely need the leg room if I can get it. So,
Yeah. At least you're not putting your legs up like half the other people in the
oh
theater.
fuck,
They're
no,
still
no,
doing that. Like there's like 45-year-old men who are doing that behind me. I'm just like, you are like a barbarian of a human being.
yeah, that's why I started. I'm glad I started getting popcorn again at the theater. Is that like if I see something like in my peripheral and stuff, I'll like doing shit like with like have the phone open or fucking whatever doing shit. I'll like just fucking throw popcorn on them until they put it away. Because
Smart.
and then I think it was for Black Panther 2 when it came out. Like guy ahead of me like had his phone like flipped to the side and was
He
like
was
fucking
recording it?
recording and yeah. And so like for the first like couple minutes, like every time he brought it up and I saw it, like I saw it like my periphery, I just fucking kicked his chair until he fucking put it down. And then a couple months later, I saw it brought up and I did it like 2 or 3 times. So I kicked the chair like several times, and then he finally did tuck the hit and put it away. So I'm like, don't be a fucking dick, and I try. If you're texting one
Yeah.
thing, but don't fucking record the try and get away with recording the entire fucking movie on your phone when someone's fucking behind you. Like,
Yeah, it's just a
oh,
dick
because
move.
because if he did, because he started, I probably would have started throwing popcorn to it if he didn't. If I had to do it like a couple, I kick the chair a few more times. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I think I had gone to like the Landmark Theater in Whitby to go see Five Nights at Freddy's, and the row ahead of us was like a bunch of like teenagers, and I got like a box of junior mints because they have junior mints there, and I pegged this one kid in the head like 2 or 3 times, and he kept looking back when he had his phone out and stuff. So, and I was like, I'll keep on doing it until you fucking put your phone away, kid. And like I just was looking for it, and I guess my girlfriend looked over and kind of smiled at him like the third time like when I did it. Like, don't fucking test me, kid.
These kids are
I'm at an age where I don't
like
fucking give a shit
amazed at the
anymore. So.
concept of consequences to their actions. Like people exist outside of my reality? Bullshit. So where the heck were we this week? Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
after he wrecks Killer Croc and the Batmobile, Batman goes to the prison where Killer Croc is in traction, and we see like Batman just screwing with Croc because he's just like bandaged up. He's like in a gurney and like has his leg like up on a
Yeah,
hoist.
like the one leg, and then like the opposite arm is both up in the air and stuff, and then like
Yeah,
yeah, and Batman says and Croc's doing the usual like, hey, yeah, fuck you, copper, I'm not going to talk, and then Batman's like, it would be a shame
that's
if something
cute.
were to happen to us, it would be happen to the tier like the equipment here or whatever, and then he. Doesn't talk, then he lowers it a few times, and he finally gets him to talk and say that what the fuck did he say? I forget now.
Oh, he said like he was as bigger than I've ever seen him, and than anybody. He's got this like hose that like puts juice into his
Oh
brain,
yeah,
and
and then yeah, pumped himself like big, yeah, they twice his size right in front of me, yeah.
yeah, and he says like he had like a South American accent, and Batman's like that's good enough. That's good enough. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? And then it was kind of like a weird line. He's like, "You'll know hard, Batman, once he sucks the juice into his brain and snaps you in two." Like, that's a little bit of a weird choice of words there.
I know. I was gonna say at least they have to like at least have like a wink and a nod to what Bane actually does like to him in the comic, because I guess because they're never freaking gonna have him like actually break his back in in
No,
this
of course
version of
not.
the cartoon, because
Yeah,
obviously then you have to actually bring in like supernatural like abilities like and then how he's able to like get his legs back and whatnot sort of thing, yeah, and go down to fucking what is it, like Florida? I think he went to go rehab, do his
oh,
rehab.
in
I
the
think.
comic, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so
Or you
yeah,
could
so
have Bane's treatment just put him next to the cell of a chiropractor and just punch it back into place.
yeah,
You know that
because
that was the first thing that Chris Nolan was just like, Oh, damn it. What do we do to get him back on track? It's like, I know. Let's smack it back in
Yeah, that's
place.
like punch him better.
Batman's next door to Chuck Norris. He's gonna roundhouse kick your spine in place. But yeah, no, I just thought it was funny. He's like, "You'll know hard, Batman." It's like,
So they have to like at least make a nod to it because he was obviously not gonna do that in here. Yeah, but
right.
and then
Well, and the next scene is
what
when
happened?
they're in the Batcave, and Alfred's just smug looking at the wrecked Batmobile, and he's just like, "Looks like you've got a ding in your door, sir."
Well,
And
yeah,
Batman,
I think like Robin's like underneath, like doing
yeah,
some sort of work on it, yeah. And then he's like on the Batcave, and he's like yeah, because he said something like Croc said made him think of something that happened in South America, but like before that, and he's like, yeah, but he went for my car, and between two dudes like that, two guys, like that's just like a no-no or something like that.
yeah,
And
that's like a
and
below the belt mark.
yeah, then Alfred actually, I was like, I was thinking like, oh, Batman's actually got jokes, and then like, and then actually Alfred, that's what Alfred says. He's like, oh, I'm glad you actually have a has sort of a sense of humor about it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's where he goes into like, hey, he's like, yeah, maybe remember like this thing in I forgot where in South America or
Panaduro.
Central or yeah, so wherever the fuck that is. Yeah, he said I remember like hearing about it like 3 years ago. They were doing like the venom experiments, and you just see like pictures of like the a big hole in the wall in like the one room in the jail, and like like 3 or 4 tiers of wall, and just kind of broken down, and
Yeah,
just inside is like all torn to shit, yeah, sort of thing, and then just kind of get into like saying like, yeah, there's like they're experimenting on inmates to do like basically like a super soldier type stuff or whatever sort of
hmm
thing, and went badly, and you see him like strapped down to the table and getting pumped full, yeah, probably getting the venom for the first time, and just is easily able to break free and just fucking kills everybody, and then
yeah.
see him break out, and then he's dead. Then right, you see like they had see what I saw earlier on the outside of the jail.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it's like really like horror movie style, like black and white, and like
Yeah,
there's no audio too. So it's just like these guys like silently screaming as like Bane is just wrecking the entire lab apart. And yeah, as you mentioned, like that like he wrecks like the side of the prison. So like yeah, kind of like tier style. So like picture like a wedding cake with a giant cake slice carved out of it. That's pretty much what Bane did to the concrete. Yeah, so he's like Bane is a hired assassin, and he does jobs for like $5 million a hit. And so he's like, who would have $5 million to put a hit out on me? And so Alfred shows him a picture of Rupert Thorne. He's like, probably this guy. And I
yeah,
think that, go ahead.
oh yeah, then then after he did explains like the project Gilgamesh that created Bane. Yeah, he's like it'd be like you have like a long list of who wants to kill him. And he's like, okay, yeah, who has 5 million? The 5 million that he charges per hit that wants to kill me, and they get to Thorn.
Yeah, it's a pretty short list, which is kind of funny considering like there's lots of rich people in Gotham. You're just lucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, hey, like any of them could steal like $5 million and be like, hey, okay, here, Bane, because because they just
Yeah.
because if they couldn't think of anybody that had the 5 mil, be like, okay, like who of like the Gotham elite just lost 5 mil and who took it?
No kidding. And it's like you don't realize that crime seems to pay in Gotham City, Bruce. Like there's probably a reason why you need to be Batman. There's kind of a lot of crime. They're not doing this because well, the Joker's doing it because he's bored, but everybody else isn't.
Yeah. Crime it pays in Gotham. Sometimes you get money, and sometimes it's a punch by Batman. So
Yeah. Cost and return. So yeah, he we have this quick scene of Bane talking to Candace as he's literally like just like pumping like the iron and like the in
Pumping
the
iron.
yeah.
Like
Pump it
iron.
up. Put the cookie down.
Yeah, I see my. I have probably told you the story that I actually like saw like Arnold in Toronto like a couple years ago. Probably like 4 years ago now. I think it was like 3, 4 years ago.
Was he smoking a stogie when he was riding the
Yeah,
bike?
yeah, 100%.
I
That's
knew
what
it.
yeah, that's what tipped me off. Yeah, because okay, yeah, for folks, if I haven't told this story on the podcast before, I was like riding like south on University, going down to Dundas to turn on there to go home because I used to live off. I live off of Dundas now, but like a different place off of Dundas, and it was like during the day, so like obviously like University is a busy street, so it's just kind of casually going down, and like I see like two people on bikes, and then like a couple seconds later like a third person passed me, so I'm like, okay, whatever, like, you know, I'm in the bike lane on one of the busier streets in Toronto, the downtown. Obviously there's going to be more than just me riding a bike, and then I eventually get to the satellites there. It's like right before we hit Dundas Street, and they turned it was red, so obviously I saw like the two people that was that first passed me like side by side right at the intersection, and then like the one guy behind him was off to the side, like up against the sidewalk. So I kind of pull him like a couple of feet away from the guy like that is thinking there. Then I was fucking looking ahead, and I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of muscular and kind of older looking, and Frank just kind of turns aside and just kind of just right, didn't hear what he said, and he's like has a
Said,
cigar
who
like.
is your
That's
daddy
fuck.
and what does he do?
I was like, holy fucking shit, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And as I'm doing the holy shit, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, I fucking look over and locked eyes with like the person that was sitting beside, and it was on a Sunday, and then like Tuesday, like all like that like the blog TO sites and stuff were doing like it. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tom Arnold were riding around Toronto on Sunday, and that's who I fucking was standing beside, like feet away, and locked eyes with, and didn't fucking recognize because I was like going, "Holy shit, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger."
That is good.
So I guess that. And with that, I think that answers like the question on if I would and wouldn't recognize as somebody that I've seen like on TV, because True Lies is one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and Tom Arnold's in that. Like, plays a big part in that fucking movie, and I was feet fucking away from it. And as I said, I locked fucking eyes with Tom Arnold, and I didn't fucking recognize him, but I was able to recognize Arnold Schwarzenegger because he just had a cigar and was just like for like 2 seconds and then turned back around. So I was like,
I'm trying to imagine in my head what like Arnold's like Austrian smoker's cough would sound like.
and I can't remember like which is probably like on Nerdist or somewhere else. So, like, heard a story that like he was saying that like at this point that like Arnold, like he's putting on the accent instead of it actually still having that freaking Austrian accent, because
Yeah, probably.
he moved to the States in like this when he was like in his like 20s, right?
Yeah.
And he's like fucking like 70 now, right? So he's been in like in the US like doing shit like for like fucking like 50 years and shit. So like he's not screw out that, and he actually like talks, has like a normal voice, but he just, you know, talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's like out, just so it doesn't like fucking blows people's minds. He'd be like, yeah, I sound like this, like what the fuck.
Yeah, you sound a
So
lot like
but
that guy in the Terminator movies. I get
yeah,
that a lot.
yeah, but as I said, I'm not 100% where I remember where I heard that. So like, obviously you can't 100% believe or like any fucking rando story, but that 100% does make sense, because you every so often when you think about all the Schwarzenegger, like, why the fuck did he still sound like that now when he's like almost fucking 80 years old? Yeah, because I saw, unless he like secretly moves back to LA, goes back to like Austria when he's like not working or whatever. But obviously he wasn't doing that when he was like fucking the governor. So
Did you ever see the deleted scene from Terminator 3 where
where they kind of explains like why they chose like the Arnold Schwarzenegger body.
and
Yeah,
he's got that terrible southern accent
yeah.
like, how are you? I'm just a Boston That's how you go. I'm like, what the actual hell am I listening to?
Yeah, no, and that makes like less sense because like the Terminator, the T-800 voice is fucking like Arnold voice.
Yeah.
Like, so,
Like
so that makes
he
sense.
sounds
That
like
makes
Arnold trying to do an Arnold accent.
so it makes like less sense for him to sound like that.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, where were you with Bane? Okay. Oh yeah. So Batman sees the computer file on Bane, and so he's like, I think Thorne hired him, and then we have this quick scene with Candace and Bane talking, and she says, once you defeat Batman, you can take over Gotham, and he's like, well, what about your employer? He's like, oh, accidents happen,
Oh yeah,
and
because she says like you could have Gotham and basically me as well, and that's where he says like, "What about your employer?" And he's like, "Oh, accident." Yeah, he said accidents do happen. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
they'll
Like you don't need to say wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? I have a basic idea of what you mean.
accidents happen. He could literally snap his neck with his pinky. You could put your finger through his eyeball out the back of his skull. Like,
Yeah, so I think and I think they're like kind of discussing like the plan of what he's going to do, and then you see then that's where you see like Robin, like no, I think it's that you see like that like Candace had to leave to I think go talk to Thorne or do whatever the fuck she needed to do, and and then that's where you see Robin like on the building ledge across the way, kind of
mhm,
have like has like a weird like old school like tape recorder thing going on, and then you like see her walking like onto the sidewalk, and then like the Batmobile following up too, and then and then you see like Batman, Robin, no, not Batman, you see Robin packing up, and then you see fucking Bane fucking coming up behind him, and then Robin, turns around too late, and it catches him, and like hey, he's like holding him over the edge. And you're like being like,
I
do
even
not
love like when he
run and
like
actually,
he hid behind like the air duct, and like Bane made it look
yeah,
like I have no idea where he went, and
yeah,
Robin's like sucker, only for him to
uh,
be right behind him. Like you're an idiot. Like
yeah. So so that the guy that little chase actually this goes to show that Bane's not just like a big strong guy because he actually could, for the most part, keep up with Robin, and that and then like showing like that he's actually kind of smart instead of just like fooling Robin to make him look like he was going elsewhere. And then that's where he grabs him, holds him over the edge, and then he threatens just about to drop him. I can't remember what the back and forth was before that, and then he just kind of to get
I
away,
think he
he
like
actually
bear hugs him
promised.
into unconsciousness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, yeah, but I meant like as he was holding him over the edge. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
remember. I can't remember exactly what he was saying. And then then Robin kind of does a swing and kind of goes between his legs and uh, uh, knocks him down. But then he gets back up and then just knocks him out. And he's like, "Oh, you've got much courage for being a small guy,
yeah.
or whatever the wording was." So yeah, but he
I just
just
wanted to
basically
call
says.
him to call him little bird. Like, come on, little bird, cheap, cheap little bird.
No, what was it? I think that's what Silva said in that one Bond movie, right? I think that
Oh
was his.
yeah.
I think or something to that effect. I think.
Oh no, the rat is like
Oh, the rat. Okay. Oh, okay.
now they just
Okay.
eat rat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. So,
Javier
okay.
Bardem is awesome, man.
Yeah. He was pretty good in that. Yeah. I remember seeing that in the theater. Yeah. No,
My favorite bit
that
of
was
that
pretty.
is him just being like, "Is this your first time, Mr. Bond?" Who says it's my first time? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then it was I think it was last like couple nights I was flipping through the YouTubes. I think it was like one video that like the one theory for that movie is that Silva was Pierce Brosnan's Bond.
oh, really?
or something. I didn't go into it, but I just kind of saw the kind of thumbnail and they kind of before I could back off of it or whatever. They kind of
Interesting
that's
take.
what they said. Yeah, so or whatever. And it's like yeah, like yeah, because he said he was another double O doing another thing or whatever. What was the name of that Bond movie that he was in?
Skyfall.
Skyfall. I'm not sure what was
Yeah.
that Skyfall?
Oh, it was
Yeah.
definitely Skyfall because I
Okay.
remember that awesome theme music.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Adele, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So when Bane is after he's like kind of managed to like knock Robin unconscious, he's like, "I think I will find a good use for you." Yeah, you know what he kind of reminds me of in terms of like vocal performance? Ricardo Montalban.
Uh, Gone. Or but I guess more Fantasy Island, Ricardo Montalban than Con
Yeah, or
Ricardo, I guess.
Naked
Yeah.
Gun Ricardo Montalban.
It's been so fucking long since I've seen the Naked Guns. I need to
Oh,
watch it
I don't
again.
remember which one it is, but he was the villain in it. Like he was all, of
I
course
don't.
it's Ricardo Montalban's the villain. Like
I don't have a memory. I remember that. Yeah, so that's how long it's been since I've seen any of the Naked Guns or anything. But I think I definitely needed to watch those again because I think I was probably like too young and dumb to get like all the humor in those movies. So I probably got like a good chunk of this stuff, but I probably wasn't getting all of it because like a good chunk was probably because I was too young to get what the references were. But I should probably because I think I definitely appreciate his humor a lot more now. Like that I'd probably get it more now.
mm. Well, speaking of a guy with a different kind of juice, see what I did there? So Batman, he goes to Candace's apartment and he's like, as she's like going in and says like, I want to find Bane. Tell me where she is. Tell me where he is. Okay, and then like the next scene is him just sitting in the shadows as she's watching TV on the couch, fully aware that he's there. So like, did she just say no? Turn on the TV, pretend like Batman just left and just ignored him until the Batman's like, "Are we gonna do this all night?" Like, what? It was just a weird transition. Like, what? Like, something happened in between here that does not like. There is a B between A and C that is not correlating properly. Like, but yeah, so she's like, like you'll never stop him. Bane's good. He knows you. He knows you better than you know yourself. That's where I wanted Batman to go. Does he know who I am? And Candace be like, damn it. Which in the comic he does. He is
Yeah.
smart enough to figure out who Batman is. But I think that would have been a bit of a stretch too far, and like would have probably caused a little bit more of a kind of harder ends to the episode to kind of wrap around. But yeah, so I think Bane calls her apartment knowing that he's there, and he's like,
Oh the phone starts to ring and she's like, it's probably for you.
yeah,
Then he just picks it up and then he does that. Don't you think he says hello? I think he just puts the phone to his ear and then Bane starts talking. And then he's like, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he just pretty much alludes to the has Robin, and again, Batman looks out the window, and then throw something through the window to try and save him.
he has Robin's like shirt, like kind of like hanging like a clothesliner, basically like as a sign saying like, I have your boy.
Oh yeah, then he gets gets across the way and has like the address on the tag or whatever. Yeah,
And
and then
so the next scene is them at the wharf where he wants them to meet up. So like Robin is strung up, like his arms above his head on a chain, and has like weights tied to his legs. And Candace wants to take the mask off, which I mean, hey, if you're a criminal in Gotham, that's probably the first thing you want to do. And Bane's like, no, like don't do it. I want to kill him first. And I don't know if it's a thing. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but like I think that there is a mark of honor with like the luchador mask thing, so maybe that's where he's kind of going with that as like a kind of hand wavy. This is why I'm not, looking to see his identity thing. But
Yeah, and plus a little, yeah, that's mostly what it is. Yeah, and probably plus a little bit of like, yeah, that's I'm not getting paid for that. That's what I'm not here for.
yeah,
But it's mostly like probably like 75-25, like the mask thing. Then being like, yeah, not getting
yeah.
paid to take off the mask, and not taking off the mask.
And then he starts lowering Robin into the water. He's basically gonna let him like kind of drown, like kind of strung up on the rope with the the weights on his legs. And that's when Batman shows up. So I mean, for a very censored fight, be compared to obviously like what Nightfall is based on, it's a pretty good fight. I mean, all things considered, there's obviously a lot of parameters that they're kind of going around, but like you can feel like the meatiness of the punches as Bane's landed them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the only thing that's keeping Batman out of his reach is like Batman's a bit more like a bit faster, a bit more agile, so he's able
Hmm.
to mostly keep ahead of him. But like I think then Bane gets like a couple good hits on him, so sends the knocking, and he goes sends him knocking knocked him across the way, hits into a pole, and he goes up to him and grabs him, and he actually has like a harpoon gun
Yeah,
and just
Batman
kind of
chucked a
fire.
harpoon into Bane. One rule my ass.
Yeah, what was the one that had like the it wasn't like the one that like that the four prongs that are like bent,
What
so it
kind of
wasn't
a
like
harpoon is
yeah, but
that?
so it wasn't like the one that was like a big freaking metal arrow. So yeah, so it just so it just sends Bane flying instead of like impaling them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he sends him like soaring across the way. By the way, I liked when like they had the thing with like the metal like railing, and Batman like bounced off it like it's like a wrestling ring, but it's like that is metal, dude. Like that's not, he's not gonna bounce off that. Like he's not plastic, man. But yeah, he goes to rescue Robin and kind of get him untied. And Candace is just kind of watching there like uh-oh, like they're probably gonna get away. And Bane has managed to like climb his way up, and I think he has a fight again with Batman. And this is what I remember from this scene, is because like Robin's just like to Candace like, "Hey you, come here." And at first I'm like, "You trying to get a kiss from her? Like where is this going?" And like she takes off her shoes and just like bites him. I'm like, there's part of me that wonders like maybe he's not actually like losing. Like he's actually doing this on purpose. Like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die on my own terms. Like killed by a beautiful woman, which I can respect.
I think the way you said come here was to be like, hey, I'd like want to fucking beat the fuck out of you for tying me up, kidnapping me, not because it's right. It's not Batman who he's like falling for fucking Catwoman. Yeah, so I don't think Robin's fallen into the and how fun it could be to go for like the naughty girls yet. I don't think.
Yeah, but we've seen how Batman will like ruin his chances at a date in previous episodes too. It's like I'm taking what action I can get. You know how lonely I am, Bruce. Yeah, so like we have this like really good fight scene of like I love when when Bane's charging at Batman, he's like, I will break you. Like,
Yeah,
he really does sound like Arnold. Like
yeah, yeah, I could see yeah, doing that, and I think he's like screaming out, and he's like, "You scream my name," which is like the one thing with the one thing he's like screaming in his face. Like, one thing I always remember from this episode is that part, yeah. And then with that, he's like has him up, and he looks like he's actually going to pull what he does in like the comic, and like Batman pulls out a batarang and actually like hits the Venom control thing that's on his like wrist or it's on the back of his hand or whatever, and then just
Mhm.
that which like fucks up
Yeah.
I guess the pumping of the venom into him and just pumps the fuck out of it. And he's like
Oh
he
my
starts like
gosh.
yeah, I know as you were saying earlier, like the good animation and stuff. It's this part too, just because, and he's like his body's just like blowing
He's
up
getting swole in every sense of the word.
in a not good way, and then even with like the mask starts to pop, and like he has like
Yeah,
little
his eyes literally bulge out of his
it
mask.
bulged so much that they like his mask has little similar things to like what Deadpool's
Yeah.
like the live action Deadpool movies have. Like it's kind of like little screeny meshy things over top, and they fucking pop out, and you just see like bloodshot fucking Bane eyes just like bulging out, and he's just like run. It looks like he's gonna fucking explode because
Well,
of
and
how
the thing
much
is, you can
fucking
hear his heartbeat going off, and it's going
yeah.
like ba-dum, 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 ba-dum,
Yeah,
ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's like,
yeah,
holy
and it's just like,
crap!
yeah. So either his heart's going to explode or all of them's going to explode. So it's just a matter of so if it's the heart by itself or with the rest of its body, and then at the last second, Batman yanks the venom tube in the back of his neck or the back of his head out, and that just kind of puts it back to like normal size. And if this is like real life stuff, yeah, like, even though like that venom was like connected to him, it's about to kill him. Yeah, like just taking out the whatever drug that's doing that will probably have like more of a adverse reaction to like whatever was going to happen if he was getting pumped with it too. So like I just said, yeah, because he's probably had like a tiny supply of venom going into his body since he's had that thing installed. So like his body at this point, uh, which I think the episode of Batman Beyond, which touches on the Bane venom and stuff, kind of touches on like what a lifelong thing of venom will do to you. But yeah, the long term effects of addiction, yeah. So like yeah, so like I kind of like the drinking thing where if you're an alcoholic, you can't like cold turkey drink alcohol, yeah, stop drinking alcohol because if your body like was deals with it that way, and you'll fucking actually give yourself a seizure and shit if you like you cut cold turkey, so you actually need to wean yourself off it, sort of thing. Yeah, so like, but obviously they're not gonna touch on that in a cartoon, so they can pulling the tube out will just have them go back to normal, and I think
Yeah.
that's where I think that's where they cut back to Thorne's place. And
Mhm.
he's like, Batman's just like, yeah, that yeah, this is all you got. Basically, all you got. And he throws his Bane's mask on his desk, and he's like, this is all you got. You got to do better than this and try and take me down, Thorne. And oh yeah, by the way, you might want to listen to this. And like, yeah, he gives has like a tape recorder of like the conversation that Candace and Bane had when Robin was taping it and stuff, and then Thorne hears that conversation as they're in the hallway walking away, and he's just like, Candace, but
Yeah,
which
but like he
made me think
sounded
that
like he was. Go ahead.
yeah, it is actually piss at her, yeah, and like this seemed like a little too petty even for fucking Batman to do.
Well, it seemed a little petty, but also like he didn't sound even that upset about it so much as
No,
like it wasn't like you betrayed me and were ready to kill me. It was like, like you ate my lunch yesterday. Like it kind of like, ticked off. It's like, Candace.
no, he was yelling because they were out in the hallway when he heard. So he
Oh
was
yeah, I heard
yelling.
that, but it was just like I feel like you should be madder than you sound.
He sounded pretty mad, so I don't know, man.
But yeah, no, it was that was yeah, as Batman's like kind of walking off like, I just signed her death warrant.
So, yeah, so what would you give this episode out of five escaped Central American convicts?
That's a mouthful. uh, uh, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. You know what? Even especially considering like, like I don't know why they didn't want to do Bane, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. I mean, it's their show, so like they can kind of make their own decisions. But the fact that they were able to adapt him, the animation's great, the fight was good, and they're able to kind of, bring him into like a very short time span and, kind of get to more or less the essentials of his character. I thought was really good. And yeah, no, it was a solid episode.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 4 or 5 as well because definitely one of the I like the second season episodes. I still think of the most because obviously it's like because it's my the first introduction of like Bane and like non comic book form and stuff. And actually, yeah, my first it definitely was my first introduction to him. And even though having read Nightfall after this, like like the scene that was like a watered down version of Bane's story, it was still decent enough. They didn't feel like they because obviously, as I said, it's like a children's cartoon, so they couldn't go full well into his story, adapt it like one for one sort of thing. But I think that even if it was watered down, it still was a decent enough story for being like on a children's cartoon and stuff. But yeah, definitely go with 4 or 5 as well. I think. All right, that is the episode for this week. Thanks everyone for joining us at the Batcave to talk about Batman and the animated series. That next week's episode will be a baby doll, and I think it's weird but somewhat tragic episode if it's one I think it is. Yeah. So yeah, I think I haven't seen this once in a while either. So it'd be interesting to watch this next one again. And you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We are on YouTube now at youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there. Give us a review, subscribe on there or wherever you find your podcast, where you listen to us now. That'll definitely help us out a little bit. And you can find us there anywhere at Beyond the Backcast. And where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore,
Your
where we talk.
podcast.
Well, that one's definitely mine. Yeah. So the Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. And yeah, if you want to find out more of this show, find us on Beyond the Backcast on Instagram. Go to our link tree, and you can find our Discord, where we talk about all sorts of Batman stuff.
And I might even be on that episode again, on that show at some point soon if I can find the movie that you want to
Maybe
do.
if the host is feeling generous.
And you can follow me on Instagram on at StumpChunkman. That's my personal account. If you want to give me a follow there, I post sometimes, I guess. And as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman and the animated series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.